Someone's losing their eye this Sunday at Extreme Rules.
Oh boy.
They have Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins. It's called an eye for an eye match, and the actual rules are to win the match you have to pull the other person's eye out, take their eye out, and apparently they're doing a cinematic match for this where they are going to CGI someone's eye getting pulled out.
I didn't know this. I'd heard about the match.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I don't know why I thought I saw something, an I Quit match or something, like, which I just thought I found humorous. Like, okay, they're just calling it, something different.
Like Moxley versus Santana earlier this year. They called it an eye for an eye match, but it wasn't literally.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, obviously, because then there's that whole thing of if you got to continue on after, and, does the guy wear a patch for the rest of his life? Or
right.
Even if Mysterio's leaving and then, whatever, and then he goes, I don't know, and then he comes back. Is he going to come back in a year and without an eye? I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I think maybe that's an attempt to get people to watch, to try to get viewers in, but I don't really see. It's very odd. It sounds like a Vince McMahon thing to me. Like that really. Vince, somewhere in his childhood, has a thing for somebody losing an eye, and like it's come out while he's like 80 years old. He wants to relive this one last time in Vince land or whatever. So,
yeah, it just sounds like they're doing this stuff like the greatest match of all time, just to create that curiosity. Even though it's so, like in this case, it's so stupid. No one believes that someone's going to actually lose an eye, but you're kind of curious. You're going to be like,
which is what I think maybe it's just outrageous marketing, and I'm all for outrageous marketing and things, but at the same time, when it actually goes against your own business of trying to suspend, you want people to believe the product is real at the end of the day as much as possible.
Right.
It always was built around that, at least. That you're kind of stepping outside of that, but people are going to watch. Even this sucks. This is stupid, and they're going to be watching it with their 10 friends. Like,
it's going to have the most intrigue.
Yeah, like that. That's that group that's watching anyways. I don't think you're going to get that other group that's not watching.
Right. So. Yeah. If I told my friends, I'm like, hey man, there's going to be this match where the only way is to pull the other guy's eye out. They'd be like, what are you watching?
Yeah, and then when you say WWE, they're going to go, loser.
Right. Exactly. So it is what it is. But yeah, I do think that match is going to have the most interest on our site that day.
Well, we're going to have a great news story next week talking about one of the wrestlers legit losing their eye, Raj. That's
right.
First time ever.
Oh, first time for everything. Also, Rey Mysterio, his contract is up. And it actually has been up for a few months. He's been working without a contract. If this was 20 years ago, this would, Rey Mysterio would probably be on Nitro by now. But, now there's too much money with WWE. People don't want to piss them off, and there's loyalties and things like that. So I don't think it's likely that Rey Mysterio is going to show up on AEW TV without letting Vince know first, but he's a free agent. He could if he wanted to.
And I do know, and his son is also, Dominic is involved, and it looks like in training to be a wrestler and tied into WWE in storyline-wise already. So that also will tie into things. And Ray's a great human being, and his family will come first with everything. I think if Dominic wasn't involved, I think it's very possible Ray probably already would have been with AEW. I think Ray going to AEW is, for the wrestling business, I think that would be the best thing ever with that. But I think, again, money financially wise, and having his family and his son tied into WWE, I think that alters probably some decision making on his part, where it's what's best for my family, not what is best for Rey Mysterio.
Correct.
Yeah. Which is a testament. I mean, he's a really, really great guy.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to tick off the world's biggest organization when your son's up and coming. So
no, he knows that.
Yeah, but
and they do too, unfortunately, and they will use that.
Right. Sorry.
Jim Cornette calling in.
Also, Kairi Sane is expected to be on the way out. She is kind of involved in the storyline right now with her and Asuka against Sasha and Bayley. But she's reportedly heading back to Japan to be with her husband. And yeah.
Dave Meltzer on the line. Dave.
So yeah, Kyrie's on her way out.
So what is? I saw that she was on Raw this past week, though. Correct?
Yeah. So she won I think she beat Sasha by countout or something like that, and so she's going to be on Raw again next week. So apparently she's still going to be on TV maybe for the next few weeks, and they're writing her out.
Because I saw something that they possibly going to offer a large amount of money, and I don't know. I'm not too familiar with the whole scene as far as like the Japanese wrestling scene or any of that, and I don't know. I mean, she has to do what's best for her, and if she's not happy here in the States, and I'm all for going home and being happy, and if she wants plans to retire soon, but we'll see. WWE oftentimes in situations like that, they throw some money at you. You'll just and you look at it for another year or two, there's a chance she stays, I would say, if that is a real thing that they don't want her to leave. So
right,
we'll just have to kind of wait and see. Everything right now is, this whole period of wrestling to me is just like, it's like forgotten. All of it, like none of it matters almost, which is why I wish it wasn't going on, because I feel bad for the talent more than anything. I think MVP too. MVP's doing, I think, like I genuinely think MVP's his all-time best as far as just where he is at life and like performance-wise. But I also think he's always been great. And I think also the talent, it's a different environment, and he stands out even more in today's environment, which I really think, I wish he had a crowd, because I think I think him and Bobby are doing good stuff together. But it's just all of it, I see it, and I'm just like, it's emotionless to me. And I just feel bad for them that they're doing it, and they're all, talent's awesome, so.
Right. It just feels like you're watching a play on TV right now. And it is unfortunate. And you're seeing it in the ratings. Let's go ahead and get to the ratings while we're talking about it. Raw doing their second worst, I mean, by a hair, their second worst. It's basically tied with their worst number in history. 1.687 million viewers on the USA Network last Monday. It's down about 3% from last week, which did 1.735. The only good thing was that the number actually went up in the second hour and then came back down only a little bit in the third. So it held their audience a lot better than usual. But the first hour, that did 1.697 million viewers, was their lowest rated first hour in history. So record low ratings, and assuming football still goes on as planned, usually Raw loses 10 to 15% once football season starts. Yeah. So that's, we're talking in really low, 1.4, 1.5, if that happens, maybe even lower.
Very realistic. And I think, again, are they talking about having football without fans?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if they do, and people are going to watch football regardless, it's in that they're going to lose a chunk of their audience on that. It's the trend. It just keeps going down more and more and more. I think really filming at the Performance Center, I don't think it's working. I think it's the best. It's a great place. Don't get me wrong. It's a great training facility, but for shooting regular TV every week, there's just no energy there.
Right.
And it comes across. And again, this isn't any performer or wrestler or anything. It's just the environment and the lack of energy from a crowd. So I'm not shocked. I think they go lower. I really do. I don't see I don't see them, and they're limited. I know that I don't really know what their options are. How can they really change anything? I don't know. I don't know what they've done outside skits with the other, like the Viking Raiders, and I don't mind any of that stuff, but it's also, though, there's just nowhere to go with it because there's no crowd still. So there's no payoff with any of it, and it's a tough thing. So wrestling, it is not watched. And I saw a thing with Kevin Nash, which happy birthday to Kevin Nash. He's one of just Great all-around guy. Where he was talking about, like, MTV, the music videos, how, like, they became non-existent as far as on TV, and how they were the number one thing, and, like, wrestling was kind of like, and that trend is, like, kind of showing, but also, like, music videos are on, like, YouTube and stuff now, people, and they're huge on that. The audience has shifted their viewing into phones. I don't know what, but ratings aren't affected on the other big things. But for wrestling, whatever reason, people, I think 2-3 hours is way too long to keep people with the world that we live in now. This ain't even like Nitro and Raw 3 hours back then. This is a whole different world we live in now, and people's attention spans are much, much lower. I would say non-existent, almost, for most people. Thank you guys very much for watching this clip, and to watch full episodes of the Shooting Blanks Wrestling Report and conversation with the big guy Ryback, subscribe to patreon.com/Ryback for exclusive videos of both shows. And always remember, feed me more.